when you're defending a homestead like we were doing our last drill last time, okay? And you have a house. And you have a yard around the house, okay? Or something like that. Basically that yard is a danger area where kill zone can't sneak up on you. I know there was talk about trying to push the brush back farther, you know what I mean? I don't typically agree with that because you're shooting at a house. That makes sense? Anybody with any type of rifle, unless you push it back 800 meters or something, is going to be able to shoot that house. You agree? Yeah. And the houses don't stop bullets. I know. And then there's a big debate that people ask about how far back you keep a yard. My humble opinion, 100 feet, maybe 200 feet, because you don't want too long where you got to run too far to get into cover and concealment. You agree? Again, you just want enough that they can't sneak up on you.
And one of the options that was mentioned was cleaning the brush away. 100 yards, 200 yards, last one. All that's going to do, as someone with a high-powered rifle and a high-powered scope, I'm still going to be able to put it through whatever part of that window that I want to put it through. We do open sights or zero-powered red dot scopes at 300 yards of qualification. And hit the target just fine down there. You think you want to stop me with a 12-power scope on top of that 308? You can put me at 600-700 yards and I'm still going to hit you. So you push this brush back 100 yards, 200 yards, all that's going to make it impossible for you to see me without thermal, because I'm going to now be 200 yards away shooting at you instead of 70 yards away shooting at you.
And it's hard for you to get out of the building then. You got more of a distance to run. So you should have a way of reinforcing your house, like sandbags. You know, we all can buy sandbags pretty cheap right now. You know, you can buy like 200 of them for like 80 bucks. That makes sense? And then it's something you can deploy easily when you need it, like around your windows and stuff. It's also probably best to push guys out into the woods, you know what I mean, in defense positions where you want to call it. How many defense positions do you need textbook to defend a house like this? What's the minimum?
3. Well, it would be absolute minimum.
Minimum is a 2, because it's 180, 180. You agree?
Yeah.
Minimum. Be best to have 3 or 4 if you're going to interlock, you know what I mean? So you push them out into here like this or something. If you keep people in the house, make sure they have a safe room, a basement, something that bullets ain't going to hit them. So if you're out there and your son or wife's in there, you know they're safe, right? Then you won't be worried about it. Am I right or am I wrong? All right? Also make sure they have a way out of there so it doesn't become the Alamo. Have a plan, right? It's best then to have your positions, and then if you have enough men, run a security patrol constantly. You agree or disagree? And have some kind of tracking ability so you can look for somebody who's been through there or not, okay? That'll help out a lot on protecting your homestead. What are some other things that we can do?
Cameras with motion.
Okay.
Most of the lights.
Okay.
Tripwires and no brush, everything else.
Tanglefoot?
Dogs.
Stuff like that. I don't know, I'm not a big dog fan. I won't go with that, but.
Shoot, this place has a ton of briars.
Yeah.
You're putting briars throughout the woods.
That's my next point. Chancey, when you were sniping, when the brush is real thick, you can't go very far back into the brush, can you?
No.
So that means he has to be within, what, 5 feet? 10 feet?
5 feet of the edge.
5 feet of the edge.
It was so thick up there that I had to be right up close to the edge of the woodline for me to be able to see through.
So if you plan all this out and you realize, boy, we're getting shot from this area and it's pretty thick, and you know maybe we'll places where people will be at, what should you do then?
Return fire.
Return fire. Just stop mowing that place down. Everybody agree?
Yep.
And push them back into farther.
You pick them up on thermal easier too, because they're not
do that?
hitting
Yeah.
vegetation.
So again, you have good positions around, one security patrol, tanglefoot, barbed wire, fence, choke points. Force them down if they're going to come in this way. What do people mostly take? Half a leaf, you know what I mean? So in essence, have places or ambush them there, you know. Another thing that I saw out here, when you have to move through this danger area, don't walk. If it's a bad situation, just run every time. No one walks. Everybody runs through the area. Don't you agree or disagree?
Yep.
And know your neighbors, have
Yeah.
communication plans, because if you're alone, you're gonna lose. You need people.
Another thing I would recommend that I would do is have a plan on monitoring radio traffic, right? What do most people have?
Walkie-talkies.
Walkie-talkies or the Midland. So if they are coming in, there's some kind of plan to come in, what are they gonna be using? Probably that chain of communication, right? So, and they're probably, chances are, they're probably gonna use the 22 or 44, whatever free channels everybody use, am I right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of them have that already programmed. Very few groups are actually coming up with a plan on how to talk on one, receive on another one, switch channels. I mean, all that can be done, but very few people won't do it. They'll just talk on 21. Any ideas that are protecting your home? I honestly believe, for the type of guys we're talking about at the very beginning here, if you hit them hard with aggressiveness and force, they'll probably just run away and don't come back. Do you agree?
They're gonna pick an easier
They're
target.
picking an easier target, you know, but they don't go down there, you know what I mean? Back on a safe thing for your family, you know, because most men will fight better when they know their wife and kids are safe. You agree? How many have
Surviving armor.
How many have armor? How many have basements? That's a pretty good spot to put them, ain't it?
Yep.
I mean, this
Depends
is,
if it's a walkout.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that. We're having a conversation. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, this is a completely different train of thought too. You can always take your family to a secure location outside of your home and then circle back around because you know your home. So once they're inside, digging through your drawers, thinking they're all good,
Well,
and
we'll get to
pop
that,
back
yeah.
in on them and
Yes.
give them a fun day.
Yeah, well, I was gonna get to that next after this was, just because you gave, well, let me finish the basement thing, we'll get to that, okay. If you have them in the basement and they have security down the basement, like you made a little bunker in the corner or something, they can't shoot down at them, that makes sense? And you have like the floor plan painted out on the basement ceiling, so you know where the hallway is, you know where they come in.
That's actually a great idea.
You could shoot up at them, you know what I mean? If you do that and you put other little booby traps in, and of course then you have a pattern, like I'm gonna call the radio and I'm gonna beat on the floor before I come in. That makes sense? You know it's me. That makes sense? So I don't get shot. Somebody gets into the house, it's gonna be water hard on them. Especially if you take your basement stairway, you lock that door, you put cattle trots down, you know what I mean? So they can't run down the basement. Think anybody's gonna get your family out of that basement? Also, if you are there and putting up resistance too, it helps, okay? It will help on that. So think about that. Also, as Foster was saying, basically, just because they got into your house or around your house doesn't mean it's over. They gotta get back out of the yard. Am I right or wrong?
One other thing about, setting your house on fire, if it's looters coming in, they want to loot it, they don't want to burn it. If they set it on fire, now they've just lost everything that they tried to gain by getting in there. So
Plus-
you make a hard target, they're gonna go on down the road to something else.
Plus, if they are trying to loot something, they gotta get the stuff out of the house, right?
Yeah.
So now they're occupied carrying backpacks, carrying stuff out, you know what I mean? And unless they've got real good training and a plan to get that out fast, how many guys think are actually planning that ahead? Anybody think people do that much planning in this type of situation?
Nope.
So in essence,
Kill you and then take their time. getting
yeah,
there.
carry out. But if you're out in here and they, like Foster said, they get up to your house and there's nothing there or nobody's in it, or your family's safe or whatever, now they gotta come back out a doorway or a window and you can ambush them, you agree? You know how guys are walking. Another cheap thing you can throw up to help slow them down is like snow fence. Pretty cheap, isn't it?
By what?
Snow fence. You know the plastic fence?
The orange fence?
Yeah, they make it all colors. I mean, you know,
Yeah, but yeah.
You could buy some of that if you need to fence off an area to slow someone down. You know what I mean?
It's hard to get over.
It's hard to get over. It's hard to cut. You got to cut each one. I mean, I'm saying you can't get through it, but it's a cheap way of throwing up a little bit of
It's something in their way.
yeah, that they got to deal with.
That'd be good with prickers, let prickers grow all through it,
Yeah.
and they got.
They gotta do it. I mean, yeah, there's all kinds of things you can do that's economical to make this happen. That makes sense?
And then, you know, I don't know how many people here own their home, but most people that own their home, they have sawzalls. If you have to, get down on the floor in a prone position, saw you a little keyhole through your wall, so you have a gun port outside because people's gonna be out there watching your windows
Yeah.
looking for activity. They might not notice a little slot in your wall that's an inch and a half wide and 4 inches or 3 inches tall.
And attic access as well. You can have, so especially if you've got camera coverage out there and you don't have enough people to really coverage or have a larger place, if you know, hey, there's people coming here, get to the makeshift position that's up in the attic, and you have a little thing you can swing up there, and you can make that disappear.
Yep.
Maybe a bit toasty in the summer there, but it's a lot better than outside.
I like that idea. Or you can make rats holes, like overseas rats
Yeah.
holes. Leave your front door wide open, you know they're coming that way, draw them in the way you want, drill some rats holes. As soon as they come in, you just start lining them up as soon as they walk through the door.
You could put a man trap.
Yeah.
You know, where they hit a fence, you know, another door, they can't get through. Now they're in there, you got, you know, you could,
Kill box.
That was a prime example when we were assaulting down here. You guys left this door open, what's the first place we went for? The open
Yes.
door, easy access.
yes,
So we went for the open door and you guys had 10 people in here.
yes.
Top of that chicken wire hung up will prevent Molotov cocktails or
Yeah.
anything being thrown coming through
Yeah.
the window.
Everybody does know too that you turn the lights off, right? So
Yeah.
people can't see in, because at night, if your lights are on, you're not seeing out, but they can see in. So,
Oh, yeah.
Just have a plan, because you don't want to be figuring this out when it's happening, you know?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Preston. How many meals, like, you know, breakfast, lunch, that's one meal. How many meals is the average person, does it take the average person before he starts robbing for food?
7.
I think it's like 2 days or
Probably
something.
3
Yeah.
days.
It,
2 days
it's
before they start.
basically, I've heard anywhere from 6 to 9. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Think about that.
Shoot, most people don't think about this. You eat an average of 700 pounds of grain a year
Yeah.
per person, so.
Yeah. So just think about that, you know what I mean? So they get hungry, or the family, so the kids are hungry.